If I don't put me in the stream, I think they told me there's no sound. So I'm here and we're going to split the screen up and I'm going to be in the middle and I'm going to say hi to everybody and wait for a few more people to show up. I've got 4 so far. I have a new member who showed up at 12:31. Glad to see that kind of eagerness. Um, and the reason you see that is because I sit here in the studio getting all my bits and pieces together. It's a We're going into some really fun times right now. It's a little bit intense, folks, because we're getting ready for all the planets to go direct, and there's still 2 or 3 of them. I know 3 of them are probably still in shadow, but we're really waiting for Mercury to kick its rear into gear and uh, move out on the 23rd of this month. And then we are gloriously free of any kind of retrograde. Pesky little Mercury to the big guys who've been being retrograde until April 21st, 2023. So if you wonder why people have been saying this year's going to feel like last year never went away and then all of a sudden everything changes, this next set of vibrations is really going to be a part of that. I'm going to wait for enough people to get in because I have a kind of a thought for the day when I was looking at all of the patterns I see changing for us. And before I get into our questions, I'm going to show this. Please put your questions in caps. If you don't, I can't um, I can't find them when I go looking for them, and it's just me, myself, and I. Kelly can't come across the border from Canada all the time. Oh yeah, Tia. Oh, this one. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Show. If a grid done, yes, each grid's made individually. So there'll never not be a time where there aren't grids. There may come to be a time when we're running a little low on Oracle Gardens um, and for sure on eggs because I have to order them from Wisconsin. And I know they've had a rough winter up there. Oh, Peggy, thank you for coming. That's another one. But so I'm going to put up my website so you can see it. And I put my website up so you can find me. And then I'm going to go back to comments because I did a show with Ann Perry. And she decided that instead of, we'd originally thought I'd do a 12-month reading for Ann. And then we got it to where, no, we're just going to pick someone out of the group of people that came to see the show. And I did a free 12-month reading for Peggy. And I hope it's working out. As I remember, it was rather good. You were moving on to some great new things. And you're interested in working with animals and animal energy. And she's learning Reiki. So that's all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun people doing all kinds of fun things out there. Um, uh, oh, and if you just go to, okay, the comment's wrong. I'm not going to fix it now. But if just go to the www.crystaldirections.com, and you don't have to look in the resources folder for the Violet Flame. I put that up last show for someone who she has inherited a haunted house, and there's stuff in there that can help her. Let's see what else we got going on. Thank you, Peggy. I appreciate it. Peggy thought it was, oh, good. I'm glad to check in with it every few days. Okay, we're going to go to, we're going to go to putting the questions in caps again. And I'm going to go into the 3 questions that I got. And we're going to cut to the table so you can see when I'm talking to you what we're looking at. And we're going to do a couple of these a couple different ways. I'm going to take the stones out of the middle. we're going to talk about stuff. But I'm really excited. Really, guys, you're going to feel such a jolt of energy when everything's direct again. It's going to be unbelievable. But let's go to here. Boom. Okay. And this is the question that we're looking at. My son's been off work for 11 weeks now because of an injury. Will he return to the same job? So what I'm going to use is the for the yes no part of it, because this is much better at yes nos. The garden, it's a lovely instrument, but it does not do yes nos very well. So we're going to see first of all for Joanne, did my son, is he going to be able to return to his same job? Will Joanne's son be able to return to his same job? Yes. Okay. But I sensed a hesitancy in that. I go, is he going to start with modified duties? In other words, going to have to make some accommodations because of the injury. Yes, I think they're going to have to do that. Will he return in the next month? Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to throw in the garden about what it's going to be like for him when he goes back to work. I don't know how he was injured. I don't know what he does. I know sometimes injuries can stop you for quite a while, and sometimes they go relatively quickly. But we'll see. Okay. Okay, this is going to be what's going to be going on around him when he returns to his job. Oh, it looks good. Clarity's in the throat chakra, and I always like to start it with the chakras when I end up there. And his ideas, they're going to work with him and getting some of his feedback and ideas on how to make this work. I think they're going to be more sympathetic than he thinks they're going to be. You have spirit and earth. And his spirit's transforming. I think this time off has made him rethink about that job and what he wants out of that job. And I think there's some fear for him that he can't continue to do that job, but he can. But his mind is locked between earth and fire. He's had problems in the past. He needs to let those go because final new thoughts are coming forward. Some of it's his own mental attitude. And then what we see walk in the water, he needs to stay grounded. I don't know how much of whatever your beliefs are that you can pass on to him, but he needs to stay very grounded because this is a real opportunity for him because he's got his values between restate and the past. And it says that he needs to be looking for new patterns that will really be helpful. And he doesn't need to be blinded by fool's gold or talk himself into feeling something different. So I think when he goes back, he's going to find them more sympathetic. I think he'll be there within a month. I felt like the month might almost be the end of the month, but time is, you know what the deal is. With tarot, time is not the thing we do the best. But I hope that answers your question, Joanne. And the reason I didn't pick it up before is I have to go get the questions out 2 hours before I set up. And you typed yours in sort of before I had a chance to see it. So, but we got you done, girl. So, okay. Okay, let me say soon. We're going to use the pendulum for this too, because I got a lot of things that were very yes-no-y, and they don't work as well as we'll see what we see with this. I'm going to say soon, I'm going to give that 6 months. Okay, because soon for some people it'd be like tomorrow couldn't be fast enough, and other people they'll wait a few months. So I'm going to give you 6 months. Okay. Well, John, Poland's finances improve soon. Yeah, not soon enough. I think if it's in because it came over here and this is to know, but it's definitely a yes, but it's going to be later. It's going to be 4 or 5 months the way that swung, I would think. I'll throw the stones in and see if we see a season or a time for the improvement. Now that we know they're going to improve. Okay. Oh, good. It's going to start this winter and continue through into the spring. And those are your three strongest stones. So that's winter. It's going to start really pretty soon. But you're really not going to feel it till the summer. That's when you're going to feel it. Because the way I look at this wedge for me is winter, spring, summer, fall. And most of your stones are here, but this is the second half of winter, which is February, March. And then early spring, you're really going to feel that that this change has happened for you. So let me know, because it's the only way I know if my little timing thing works, because I don't know unless you let me know. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't have to throw stones on this one. I can just talk to you. Johann has not been on because he's having a baby next month. And his guides and his angels told him that he wasn't going to be doing astral travel and he wasn't going to be working with the earth energies to protect his family. And I'll tell you why. When I first met Johann, he and I did a show together and we plotted it all out and got it all up and ready to go. And then that night I did a show with Andrea from Lilac. Oh God, I'm blanking on names. Lilac Lantern. And that's the show where for some reason the power went out in parts of my house and then some of the power came in at 50%. So, and she and I were doing a thing on chakras of the world, which was also related to the information I was working with Johann on. And my big screen, I have a big screen, I have a little computer screen that's attached to that, but my big screen, it was plugged to this segment of my electricity that went to 50% power. So it went out and it was changing through what they call the hello screen. And it shows kind of all the colors that the screen has the potential to make. So here's Andre and I'm sitting in the complete dark and it hit my system. The second she said, hi, we're going to talk about world chakras. And all of a sudden I was in this, it was so dark in the room, you couldn't see the stuff behind me. All you could see was all the chakra colors running over me. And we went ahead and did the show. And I really hoped it hadn't burned out my computer and I had to have it all checked and everything was really fine and it all works again. But the next day I called at the time that Johann and I can meet because he's in South Africa. He's so much ahead of me in time. But we talked, and at the same time that my house was under attack. And mind you, it quit a half an hour after the show was over. The power all came back up. And there was supposedly something that happened at a switching place. I made no sense to me, but all I know is it's the weirdest show I've ever done. And I called him and I said, boy, you're not going to believe what happened here. He said, oh, you're not going to believe what happened here. And he had some of the more dark side of the earth energies that don't want the world to all connect and be happy had invaded his house. And he managed to get back. He left his wife in the car. He called in the archangels he works with, but they were pissed because they had stolen energetics that had been left in Johann's care. They weren't pissed at Johann. They were pissed that it happened. So he had actually moved to a completely new place. And he and I were talking about that when he was talking about having the baby. And I'm not sure if if that whole incident's exactly why he did it, or he is a cinematographer and he has to make a living and he does have a baby coming. So no telling, but he will be back. And matter of fact, I'm knitting him a baby blanket. So he's supposed to be sending me the address so I can mail it to him. So that's where Johann's been, and that's why he hasn't posted anything. So let's see. Okay, for today, what I want to talk about, and I haven't looked at your questions, but I will go look at them, see if any more, if remember that if they're not in caps, what, okay, this is my thought for the day, because we're going to such an energetic shift, and you're going to feel this is one of when the planets all go direct. It's a time when it feels like time speeds up. So allow yourself the new path in this glorious days of this direct energy. Please do that. Combined with the earth energies you're getting in touch with and the vibrations of the photonic shift from outer space and all those upgrades, this is not just a time for the collective to change, but it's a time for you to accept those changes for yourself. Time is speeding up again. Don't just get ready to go along with the crowd. Get ready for yourself. Go along with yourself, and you'll find yourself in the collective, in the crowd. Live each speeding second to its fullest. Make the most of your highly personal journey, and you will find yourself within the group. Those were the notes I got from my angels today when I was looking at this shift of energy. And they're usually pretty good. Mercury's gone direct, and yeah, everything changes on the 23rd is when it really changes. So let's see if I can get rid of comments. Really banners. Right, okay. All right. And then also, for those of you who don't know, on the 21st, it's the new moon, which is lots of fun. But this is a new moon that's also the Chinese New Year. So have a lot of fun. I always find Chinese New Year's are very happy New Year's. I mean, really, really happy New Year's. Unlike sometimes the 1st of January, which have been, well, in my younger days, they were hangover New Year's. But go out and enjoy that and see what you can find. And now we're going to go into the comments, and I'm going to see, and you have to give me a chance to read. Okay, here's a comment. This is from Cold Toes. I just did a one for Cold Toes right before Christmas. It does just help you concentrate your energy, and a couple of the other people who recently got them have told me that's the same thing. And today, speaking of that, I'm going to tell you what shows I'm going to be on. Okay, I'm going to be on Crone Zone this afternoon at 2. We're looking at grids and things because I made a grid for one of the Crone Zone ladies. I'm going to be in Spiritual Essence on Sunday morning with Scott, and that's politics. Say no more. Also that afternoon, we're going to be here on my channel. So if you're subscribed, you'll get a notice. Kelly and I are going to be doing past lives that day. And for my gardeners that are in the group, right as soon as this show's off, I'm going to be sending y'all the Zoom invitation for the people who belong to the garden group. And that's a private group you can join at my channel if you want. And it's not very expensive. You can join for a month and then quit joining if you think it sounds boring. But we meet on every other Saturday, and we study the garden and practice in it and let everybody have a chance to read with other readers. So that's it. Crone Zone this afternoon at 2. Spiritual Lessons at 9:30 on Sunday morning, and 2 o'clock on Sunday with Kelly. God, I really, I've always found sometimes when things are starting to really all go direct, it takes a little bit longer. That's right. We will be in the year of the rabbit. So, okay. Okay, got a question. If you guys are looking in the chat, Celtic Seer is a very good astrologer, so you can follow what she's saying. She's a good one. Ooh. I hope his job, this is about the son who's injured. I hope his job doesn't require a lot of walking, or they put him through some good physical therapy to get it back. But it looks like it's going to be interesting for him, and he's going to come back. Okay. Let's see. I'm retiring at the end of 2023. I need to get my credit card lower, but I keep sabotaging myself. Why? How do I get out of my own way? There was a period of time in my younger life where I kept doing that, and I actually did put my credit cards in a sack of water and put it in the freezer. And then it was there. I didn't want to tear it up because if I really, really needed it, I wanted to have it. And that worked for a while. I think what you need to do is call in your guides and your angels and ask them if they can slap your fingers for you. And then you have to consent to listen to them when they do that. I mean, if you want to do that energetically, let me see if I can throw in the garden and see. I don't know. Are you doing retail therapy because you're kind of grieving having to change your lifestyle? It's another possibility. I'm hearing. Let's see. What's Tia Nana G? How's she sabotaging herself? Oh, okay. Well, you're not listening to your spirit. I can tell you that. You've got in your throat chakra. You've got your spirit. And spirit shines through self expression. And if you will open up your mind and speak about what's really bothering you. Oh, I've got them. Don't have the garden where you can see it. Okay, there we go. This is where it ended up being the throat chakra. And spirit shines through self expression. And you need to talk to people about dealing with all these changes. And I think you are doing a tad bit of retail therapy. Your values or your grounding is in the third eye. And when it falls in third eye, you have a lot of intuition and strong insight. But right now, you just want to, let's see. Right now, your values are being purified. I think it's getting you ready for when you actually are retired. So you're going to start cutting back on some things now. And I know it's hard right now because things seem to be getting more and more expensive out there. I don't go out much and I buy the same things all the time, but I finally noticed some changes. Your clarity isn't false and your vision's really clouded at this time. That's why I think I'm getting some element of you're feeling hurt and grieved and you don't have anyone to talk to about, and that's not helping matters. And that clarity is completely in false. I know the tip of it looks like it's over, but the rock never actually hit into path forward. So what's your past thing? You've been more financially disciplined in the past, and you need to go back to that because where your mind is right now, it says you need to, before you buy anything, think, rethink, look at it again. You need to make not spending a conscious decision that you're making all the time right now until you can get yourself to where you feel more at ease with all this. But I think this is all real positive stuff. You just need to find someone that you can discuss about how and what you're going to do with your retirement. And I think you probably already have some people, but maybe you don't think they're listening. Maybe they don't understand about making that kind of a giant life change. Okay, we have another financial question. And we're going to use the pendulum first. Oh, and by the way, I want everybody to know that I never did get to see my doctor on Wednesday. I have to go on the 30th. So wait a little longer. Okay. This is Lise. Will my finances improve during this time? I'm going to say is your finances going to start showing improvement in the next 6 months. I think it's probably going to be closer to 7 months, but yes. And you're going to start to see some improvements. They're going to be slow and gradual, but I think that when you're going to finally look back and say, okay, I'm past that. This is yes, this is no. When it cuts between, it means I put 6 months on it. It said more than 6 months. That's how you read that. Okay. Cold Toast is not really a relative of mine, but she said the garden group is lovely. The group is very loving and supportive, and she's just an absolute dear to have in it. She is so she always has such good insights. Let's see. Um, okay. Oh, the further adventures of the guy who's going back to his job. They'll accommodate him. I don't know where the part of the country you work in, but they're trying to get a better rep as far as people that work for them. So okay, and okay. I think I just answered yours, lease. Was it lease that I just did that was 7 months? Yeah, I just did use, and I put 6 months on it. Did you want to ask if you're going to get off disability? Let's see if you're going to get off disability in the next, since it went to 7 months, let's see if the next 9 months. Kind of. I think you're not going to find full-time work, but I think you're going to find part-time work in the next 9 months. And that may be the change I was seeing. Oh man, you're asking the wrong person. I am not a pet psychic. Um, I know a lot of medicines work. I'd find out from a vet, or I'd go look on some animal welfare sites. I I don't see why they wouldn't, but I know that when my cats used to get really sick like that, we used to make them plain white rice with chopped up cooked meat in it, and the bulk in the rice would be like a probiotic thing, I guess. I really I don't want to give your doggy something it shouldn't have. But if you Google it, I'm sure you'll find it, man, because they're okay. We're gonna do we're gonna do a garden. We're gonna do a oracle garden reading for the highlights of your upcoming year. And I am still doing my 12-month readings, guys. You've got 11 days left. I counted because I've had some people who booked them earlier and then they moved them and moved them. And I had to send them little notes saying, get with the program. Okay. For Colleen, what we see. For those of you who don't know what the garden is, this is your body. This is your mind. The amethyst is your spirit. This is your values, groundings, clarities, and this is clarity, values and groundings, and this is clarity. And you read what the stone means, and you read where it forward. So your path forward in the next year is you need to have a really open mind and watch for all kinds of signs. I think seeing that sort of at the beginning of this reading means that there's a lot of changes coming towards you. Let's see, why is your values in earth? This is going to be a big year for you. You're going to be, or you've been clearing out some past issues so you can just move forward. I think that's really important to you. You've got a whole new sense of your body. If you've been going on a diet or starting an exercise plan, I think it's working because it's helping you in your thinking process, and your spirit's being transformed during this time. So, okay, if your birthdays, I'm going to do that. What personal year are you in? Which I can do with just the date that I have. It's 4, 5, and 7, it's 12. Oh, you're going into a 3-year. This last year, you've been probably getting together a lot of people and starting to build new foundations. And that would make sense with your clarity being in the present. That's numerology. You're going into a 3 personal year. Go Google it on Google 3 personal year. You'll get more information than you ever wanted to know. But it for your clarity, you're gonna, yeah, okay. The whole story I see is this year you worked really hard on moving your mind forward. You clarified a lot of issues from your past, so now you're re-seeing yourself in a different light. You're starting to really have a lot of movement and changes. Your spirit's ready to soar, and you're in the present. Your clarity is here, and it is you're it not just there just isn't one part of your life that's sort of cleared up. And this is going to be the year in the 3 years when you gather yourself into groups and find people that are your tribe, and you'll find people who are supportive to you moving forward. You're going to find people who are in somewhat the same position you're in, so that they can help you do this, expand your mind on the path forward. That's a lovely reading. I think you got a good year, girl, coming up. Yes, and I'm going to show this. Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot will be with me. Her name is otherwise Kelly, the short name, at 3 Eastern, 2 Central Time. We're going to be doing past life readings, which is lots of fun. And I don't know how many of you understand about using past lives, but they can be very revealing about something you've always sort of knew that you knew, but you didn't know how you knew it. I mean, it may sound very strange, but and you can kind of start to straighten some of those little subconscious thoughts out. And okay, I'm glad Joanne's happy, and Lise, I hope you're happy. I'm not sure I picked up the right thing. Okay. I wouldn't mind long lost cousins with cold toes because, and by the way, her nickname comes from the fact she lives in Alaska, kids. She has legitimate cold toes. Okay, here's another pet owner who says a little cooked chicken and white rice help their dog. Oh, you've done the white. She's tried the white rice. Well, Oh, okay. Here's one. This is probiotics are in yogurt. So just get the most probiotic filled yogurt you can that your dog will eat. I'm afraid if I put yogurt in front of my cats, that would be the end of a long relationship. Um, Okay. And we're also having Cold Toast say, watch out for food allergies. So this is why I tell you I don't do pet illnesses. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the only time I read on the other topic that everyone seems to read on, and I will tell you the truth, people, I talked to a reader for a couple hours yesterday. And in the case of that reader, they have tried to branch out into a more spiritual branch. And when they put the spiritual thing up, they get maybe a couple thousand views, which I would be delighted to get a couple thousand views. But if they go and do talk about all of the news of the day and get all riled up in that stuff, um, they have 4,000 and 5,000 views. So I am retired. I have lived with my son. I do pay rent and all that stuff. I'm self-supporting that way, but I don't have a lot of the same pressures other people have. So I don't have to do politics. And I did politics for a big chunk of my life. That's why I just agreed to go help Scott. And I've kind of tried to steer that show into more what can you do? How can you use your energy to move us forward? And that's going to become even more prevalent in the next few months because I don't think the horror show in Washington is going to stop anytime soon. Okay. Okay, we're getting a whole lot of advice. Here's a question. Yeah, Cold Toes. If you have a question and you want to ask it, you can ask it on Saturday and have every gardener throw on it, or wait till Sunday afternoon, and Kelly and I'll both be glad to look at it. Okay, Doug B. Okay, let me see. I'm going to figure out how am I going to work with this because I have no idea what. Okay, I'm going to throw the first question I'm going to ask the cards, and it's going to be, was Doug B's dream a dream for him, or was it a collective dream? And if it was a collective dream, then you can analyze it from that point of view. If it says it was your own dream and it's about you, then I'll throw it in the garden because then you can probably relate to what I see. Was Doug B's dream about himself? Yes and no. Something's happening in the outside world that reminded you of a person that you felt had stripped away your values, and it's a not very happy family relationship thing. Um, but I think it's your dream. But I think something's happening in the outside world, whether it's that we have an even more pathological liar in Congress than we had in the White House. I don't know, but it's someone who betrayed you, and it threatens your sense of values. So we're going to throw stones in the garden and see what we get for how Doug can work with his dream. Oh, you got great stones. Okay. Your grounding stone, your body, is in earth, and it says that your body's making some changes. And uh, there are physical changes that are coming to you, and you feel that there are. And you also had the air thing of you need to ground your thoughts when you're looking at that. Your clarity is coming out of fire and water. And in fire, clarity says use the ideas from the past to find new solutions. And when clarity's in water, you will have all the clarity you need. And think about if there's something in your dream that was like leading you down a path or sending you to a special place, because that's what's up here. And what you got up here is you got go for it and true for your values, and all is really aligned with your values right at this time, and you are seeing things clearly. So if you take that dream apart, you'll begin to understand what the messages are. And remember what I said, it had something to do. The basis of the fear that was part of that dream, which is what gripped you, was the woman who took values from you. And I hate to pick on mothers because I am one, but it's some woman in your early years that really picked you apart. And what you're learning now is your thoughts are what are going to lead you to the new way. And this is your awakening spirit. And that's great. Your spirit showed up, the spirit stone showed up in sacral chakra. And that says, spirit moves your creative energy. I don't know if you're creative or if there's something in your job that's requiring you to become more creative or change how you view and see things. But what I would see from this um, is yes, it was a personal dream, even though it seemed couched in weird images. It was triggered by something that's going on in your outside world. I sensed that from what I saw in the cards. You have the know-how to know to go where you need to go to do this, and you have the brain power and you have the values. And right now, if you will tie into your creative spirit, you can conquer whatever that message. The message is um, you're changing, you're shifting, you're letting go of the past, and it's time for you to not be have your view of what you can do blocked by false images from others. Try that. Okay. You guys, you don't care for political questions. I have friends that are still in that world that call me, and it's very hard to get to where their minds are. Okay. Okay. Oh, Melissa V. Oh, I'm going to answer your question, Lise, and then I'm going to go to the one that's just above, which is not listed as a question, but I will explain. Um, let's see. Can the garden guide you to the area of your life where you need to work with your digestive issues? Okay. Okay. I'm going to tell you when a stone shows up in the heart, which you can't see because of my banner, but when it shows up in the heart, I have to read that area first. And what you got there was your clarity. And that's wisdom comes with the clarity of emotions. Your digestive problems are clearly tied to your emotional needs. And right now, your body's working through restate the past and fire. Fire on these elements is the past, either this life or a past life. And what I see happening with your body, God, that was a Chicago body. I my vowels get flat, really flat sometimes. The options aren't what's bugging you is the options aren't clear, and you've looked at the previous forms that have served you and helped you, and you're struggling with some images from your past, and what they've done is they've gone into your gut, which I don't know. Have any of you ever seen like a whole embryo develop out from when it's a little blastula? The brain and the middle section of your body are very closely tied together, and you have as many neurotransmitters in your digestive system. You have like Zoloft Zoloft, serotonin, and those kind of things in your gut. That's why people say something hit them and they felt like they were hitting the gut. So when your brain gets kind of confused, your gut will get confused. Your gut will feel confused. Because I used to suffer from that. I don't anymore, thank God. Um, and your spirit is in earth and fire. Spirit's transforming right now, but it's not quite finished. And thoughts from the past you've got it all over this thing. You've got a past issue that's trying to rise up through your system. And this is where we're going to find out what you can do about it, because it's positive thinking, meditation, getting more positive information around you will really, really help clear this out, because water is things that are moving out of our lives. And you know what's this is happening to you right now? We got it's a little bit in go for it. Yeah, it is in go for it. Positive thoughts and manifesting it. And I don't mean just putting things on your forehead and thinking it's going to come to you, but thinking about things in a positive way, because that's also in the tree of life. And your mind is in the tree of life, which means your own mental attitude about this has everything to do with it. Open yourself up to radiant guidance when your mind hits that one. That's what it means. And so I'm going to look at this, and then I'm going to try to put this all together for you. I'm going to try to put it all together for me so I understand it. This says that pretty soon things are going to be all aligned for your values, but you need to, because you have grounding changes. Right now, things are happening in your life that are going to be put into a permanent pattern. And with clarity in your heart, that's really strong. So what you need to do is you start looking for guidance. I don't know if you pray, I don't know if you meditate, I don't know what you do. You should just get up and journal maybe a little bit every day and say, what's the best thing I can do for myself today? Because right now you're clarifying a whole lot of energy from your past and working with it. And your 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 spirit is going through a major transformation. And what's happening is all that's buzzing around in the chemical mix of your brain, which is the same chemical mix as your gut, and it's getting confused about which am I doing. So, let's see. So, Lise, that's the reason your stomach's messed up is because your head needs to get straight. But man, when you've got this, you are going to get the answer. You just need to open up to it. And, sometimes I think our bodies do that sort of thing to us so that we can't think, so we can't feel. You get so focused on what doesn't seem to be working. And this is, you're going to solve this. It shows very clearly it's because your spirit's in major transformation and it's having to let go of the past. So I hope that helps. Oh, Doug did have problems with, yeah, I didn't want to pick on it, but man, I got clear mom energy of the queen. You do have values, and everything you do is worth it. And don't believe in the things she invested in, because she's just trying to relive her frustrated life through yours. So that's the rest of what I picked up, but I hate to dump on moms because I'm a mom. Okay, show question. How will my year develop physically this year? I'm exhausted most of the time. Welcome to the club. Um, I think last year was an exhausting year. It was a year just where I swear every planet went into the worst sign and sucked it out of us. We're going to have so many major planets locking in for long-term trips through better signs for us that I think you'll feel better this year. And I think it's not going to really, I got a feeling you're not really going to start to feel it. I don't know when your birthday is, but I'm feeling like March is a time when things are going to sort of change for you. And I don't have, that's welcome to a free channeling, which I don't normally do. Oh, baby, let's put the violet flame to the test. Throwing love and light and not tying into the negativity. I swear there has never been a creature more made for us to say, oh my God, they're all like that and they're all crooks and thieves. And then that poor little man that now apparently we're going to get to see pictures of George Santos in drag, because as a teenager he was a drag queen, I guess, and his name was outrageous. I heard it on the radio this morning and I said, I'm dismissing this from my brain. Could a group violet flame prayer be done from a distance to clear negative in the House of Representatives? Tell you what we'll do. I'll pull it up and I'll read it. And for anyone who wants to read along with me, You can just listen and say it along with me, and we can try. It couldn't hurt. Now, if all of a sudden, glorious sunbeams shine through and the photonic energy raises all of their consciousness, then we just need to start doing that every day. But we'll try it at the end of the show today, because I find when I do the violet flame, I find it tires me down. And we're almost to the end. Okay. What's going to happen around Kathy in the next few weeks? And the same goes for you. I mean, there is this universal pattern of exhaustion that we're all facing. Okay. Kathy H. in the coming weeks. Oh, you have some very fundamental work to do. You've got a whole lot of, one of the reasons you're tired all the time is you've got a whole lot of new ideas flowing out of you. But one of the reasons she's been so tired is your transmutation. You were going through enormous spiritual shift in the last year, and it's just completing right now. And that just sucks it right out of you. But what has emerged to change for you? And your mind has let go of a lot of misleading information. You've had to really take a hard look at some people, but you was teeny tiny bit into path forward. So that's a good thing. But your mind is open now and you're watching for the new signs. Your body also was in listen. Oh, okay. And this what when you have the body in false, it says listen to your body for information. So your body was saying, look, you can only do so much. Your spirit's moving way ahead here. You need to rest. But you're more in earth, which is new physical changes are coming. Your clarity's in earth. You have many paths ahead of you. You're going to pick the correct one. And your values in earth. And more is being brought forward for you every day. And you have the strength to deal with it. So I think the next 3 weeks, your body, your mind, and your spirit are all going to get aligned. And that's going to be really important for you. I don't know what you confronted in the holidays, but it must have been fun. Okay, and well, guys, that's the end. And so what I'm going to do is I have the violet flame in my phone. Let me get it. Okay. Files. Documents. Search. I'm not quick at this, guys, so you got to give me violet flame. Okay. Okay. I'm going to read the first one. And I call upon Archangel Zadkiel, the Ascended Master Saint Germain. Y'all can follow along in your head with this. Articus, Diana, and Victoria, and all the angels of the violet ray. Blaze, blaze, blaze. Blaze the violet flame in and throughout the entirety of the Congress and all the property, all the vehicles, all the people there. Violet flame, any and all low discordant energy which has been absorbed in this property, in its vehicles, in every nook and cranny, every crystal, every stone, every piece of wood, every animal, every piece of upholstered product, everything on the property. Transmute any and all misguided energies, transmute all cause, core, effect, record, memory, known and unknown, from the past, present, future, from all dimensions. Send this discordant, misguided energy back to the original source of all that is. where it can be repolarized and regenerated back into its original white light state. Okay. I got to picture them sort of sweeping the place and gathering it up, taking it up to God's laundromat. Okay. When this has been completed, then return this as white light back to the property. It's complete. So we're done. I look forward to seeing you at 2 on the Crohn's tomorrow. On with if you want to join me with the garden, if you're one of my gardeners, you're getting your invitation. If you're interested in learning about the garden, you can go look on my website and see what sort of the images you have there. If you're really interested and need more clarification, contact me through my email, which is crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. And if you want a copy of the Violet Flame, I actually have a banner, which is not what it's supposed to say, but it will work. Look it up in the resources folder on my website and check out the Violet Flame. And with that, I am going to rest. That's cleaning out the Congress is like a whole lot of work, kids. And thank you for joining me for it. Bye-bye.